In the year 1991, Sega released Sonic the Hedgehog for the Mega Drive. Sonic was created to be the company's official mascot, putting him in direct competition with Nintendo's ubiquitous plumber, Mario. I don't need to tell you that the game was a runaway success, helping to establish the Mega Drive as a sleeker, cooler, faster alternative to whatever Nintendo could put out. And that's what Sonic was all about, speed. I mean, it's right there in its name. And that's not to say that the only thing the Sonic games had going for them was that they were fast-paced, because there were plenty of times when you had to slow down and do some focused platforming. In fact, a lot of the seemingly fast sections of Sonic games are out of the player's control. Little sections where you can just sit back and watch them go without having to really play the game. Those classic Sonic titles found a great balance between providing that sense of speed and actually being a fun video game that you press buttons on a controller to play. Of course, for marketing purposes, Sonic was 100% about speed and a general sense of being cool, as evidenced by the cartoon series where he ate chili dogs and was voiced by the whitest black man who ever lived.
Kids, you're not important, you're not cool, you're dumb, no one likes you, you have a problem learning how to read.
And then video games jumped to 3 dimensions. Mario took to 3D like a duck to water, reinventing the series as something much bigger, arguably better, but still faithful to the original games. Sonic had problems even finding a console to launch a game on that wouldn't die instantly, but eventually landed with Sonic Adventure on the Sega Dreamcast. Sonic Adventure, and its immediate sequel, are games for which I can't seem to sort out my feelings. I played them religiously when I was a kid, or rather I played their GameCube remakes religiously, so they hold a nostalgic value for me. 40 hours! God damn, I was a stupid kid. Wait, that probably includes the Game Gear games they have in there as well, but still, the Sonic Adventure games just aren't good enough to justify anywhere near that level of investment. They're ridiculously clunky, with sloppy controls and a dodgy camera that feels like the programmers are trying as hard as they can just to keep the thing running properly. Sonic controls like a wet bar of soap sliding down one really long slide, and they've given him a homing attack that instantly locks on and bops nearby enemies, as if to apologise for not being able to sort out the whole movement in 3 dimensions thing well enough. When Mario went 3D in Super Mario 64, he did it with finesse. He's acrobatic, responsive, and it's your job to fulfill whatever task that particular mission in that particular level asked of you. Stages were large and open on the whole, but there were some parts that were more linear, as the older games were. When Sonic went 3D in Sonic Adventure, it wasn't nearly as enjoyable. The adventure part of the game is pretty much just running around an empty world, putting stones on pedestals to open up the next actual level, a straight path to the goal. Even they knew that bit was no good and ditched it for the sequel. And while they shorted out a lot of sections where you watch Sonic run really fast, the actual gameplay was slippery and unexciting. Older Sonic levels weren't always the longest, but there were a lot of them, and it was in your best interest to slow down, collect items, and carry all your rings to the end. If you wanted to blitz it to the goal, then you could, and there were some alternating paths you could take to mix it up. A few crazy fast segments in the chemical plant looked sweet and helped showcase the Mega Drive's mythical blast processing, but it's the climbing up through the water and trying not to fall and drown that'll stick with you. In that regard, I suppose the Sonic Adventure games replicate the formula well enough. It's just that with fewer levels and the advent of 3D, the limitations of such a formula become more readily apparent. It's not so incredibly terrible that you wonder how the game even got released, but it feels unrewarding to progress through the stages by holding forward through cinematic sequences and homing attacking everything in sight. It's playable enough for an impressionable youngling like me to enjoy, but now that I'm older I see the game's flaws a lot more than I see its strengths. If it even has any strengths, that is. I guess there are lots of characters with different gameplay styles, but all the rest of them suck even worse than playing as Sonic, so the music's pretty good?
Here I come, rougher than the rest of them, the best of them, tougher than leather. You can call me Knuckles, unlike Sonic I don't chuckle. I'd rather flex my muscles, I'm hard as nails, it ain't hard to tell. I break them down whether they solid or frail.
Shut up, it's good! At the very least it's memorable. As the Sonic series went on, the quality of the games got worse and worse. It seems like instead of trying to fix that core gameplay mechanic, re-examine how Sonic should move in 3D, or what the core gameplay objectives should be, as long as it doesn't involve treasure hunting or fishing, how large the environment should be. No, forget all that. Just stick with the same old Sonic Adventure schema and give it a little twist on the end. In Sonic Heroes, you play 3 characters at once. In Shadow the Hedgehog, you can use guns. By the time that Sonic 06 came around, it was like they'd just given up on even trying to make a good Sonic game. Their bad habits even seeped into the 2D games, which steadily became more about all speed all the time, to what I consider the detriment of the gameplay. I know a lot of people like Sonic Rush, but I don't. It's too hectic, too reckless, and all the invincible turbo boosting and air dashing results in a game that focuses so much on speed that it neglects to give the player full control over the experience. The likes of Sonic Colors and especially Sonic Generations would later find a way to incorporate a high-speed approach which works really well, but that's getting ahead of things. And now that we've gotten the abridged history of Sonic out of the way, we come to early 2007 and the release of Sonic and the Secret Rings on the Nintendo Wii. On the surface, this seems like a match made in hell, a game released at the nadir of the Sonic series, on a system infamous for barely functional waggle controls. I hadn't actually played this one before deciding to do this video, so maybe it'll be good. I mean, it can't possibly be worse than the game that came before it, so we're already on the up. So the game begins with Sonic asleep, presumably tired out from his previous encounter with Metacritic.
Hey, wake up!
Boy, is it that late already? What time is it? Huh?
You are the blue hedgehog.
Ah! What the?
You see that face? That's me playing this game.
Our world, the world of the Arabian Nights, is vanishing. This is the work of an incredibly evil spirit, the Eraser Jinn.
So this guy needs someone to put him in his place, does he? I suppose I can help out with that. It might even be fun.
It might even be fun!
Now please, place the ring on your finger.
Like this?
No, Sonic. Like this.
Now, rub the ring.
Like this?
No, Sonic. Like this.
Here we go, into the world of the Arabian Nights.
Okay. Now this is first class. Here we go!
But of course, before we can actually play the game, we have to go through a series of tutorials on how to play. Because Sonic the Hedgehog and the Wii Remote are so complex, right? Let me guess, this button jumps, D-pad moves, something like that?
Tilting the Wii remote to the left and right will move you in that direction.
Oh no. That's not a good sign. That is not a good sign. Oh boy, experience points. What is this, some kind of Sonic RPG? Wait, never mind. And yeah, you have to clear and unlock each part of the tutorial as a separate mission, with 2 different ones for jumping. You can tap the button for a small jump or hold it down and release for a bigger one. And that's the sort of nice little randomly implemented middle finger to video game control conventions that I like to see, packaged in together with motion control steering and a player character that constantly moves forward of their own accord.
Press the 1 button to brake.
Just made it!
Whew! Just made it. 22 seconds. Cutting it pretty close.
You can grind on places that have squared edges.
Great. I'll keep that in mind. Seems like a good trick. So then the big bad guy shows up, tells you about 7 secret rings you need to collect, or else this fire arrow that he shoots at Sonic will kill him or whatever. Blah blah blah, gotta go fast. Now seems like as good a time as any to bring up the game's main theme, which seems to play at every possible opportunity, and I can't tell what the hell the guy's saying or what any of it's supposed to mean. No such thing as fate for those who speed. A path out of time, instead of just living it. So many things erased before they begin. Hopes undream, instead of what could have been.
7 rings in hand, wild with just one single hand.
Wild! With just one single hand! Well, anyway, now we can actually start playing the game proper.
Make sure to tilt the Wii remote side to side very carefully here.
And it sucks. Huge stretches with nothing going on, slippery, janky motion controls, weird momentum issues, lame enemies combated lamely, a load of pearls that I can collect for no apparent reason. Although I read the manual and apparently they'll later be used for some special moves, but why include them in the first level if they serve no purpose? The game even says that I can get them from beating enemies.
Sonic, you can get the pearl by defeating that spirit!
But who cares? Unless they also give you experience points, but the game doesn't tell you that either. Speaking of which, the manual says that if you tap the 2 button while grinding, you get a little burst of speed. Why couldn't the in-game tutorial on grinding have told me that? Why do I need to do that in the first place? Why does the first level of a Sonic the Hedgehog game take 5 minutes to beat? Although I only got a bronze medal, so I guess I just suck. That, or I need to keep playing and get more experience points to unlock new skills that will make things easier. Speaking of which, there's a tutorial for the skill I just unlocked.
3, 2, 1, go!
This isn't my day.
Yeah, great tutorial. You have to shake the Wii remote when the countdown is at 1, and this is actually just like a test to let you know that you can do it properly, I guess. Well, anyway, level 1 is split up into missions that have you playing parts of that 5-minute level with special challenges, like defeating a certain number of enemies, reaching the end without breaking any jars, or whatever. It's weird that the missions don't come in order, and I unlock the second level before fully clearing the first. But after doing a bunch of less than enjoyable missions, I unlock the boss fight.
He seems pretty tough. Alright, let's do this!
I wonder what his weak point could be.
The big eyeball on its back seems to be its weak point.
What? Are you serious? Did you really just point out the giant, obvious weak point of the first boss in the game? Well, to be honest, all you do is homing attacks, so it's not like you're going to be stuck for strategy. You just run up to it and jump. Or rather, you let Sonic run up to it by himself and jump. What, do they make this game for little kids or something? It says 7+ on the box. Maybe that means 7 months, or 7 IQ points, 7 brain cells, 7 rings in hand, wild with just one single hand. Fuck this game, man. I mean, look at that. I just unlocked a skill for smoother movement. I guess the game's supposed to control like fucking shit until you get the right skills that make it slightly less of a stinky turd. Well, guess what? it still fucking stinks pretty bad. Ah, man. I don't know. I'm done. I don't even want to play the rest of the game. I mean, level 2 is called Dinosaur Jungle, and I still don't want to play it. Sonic and the Secret Rings is bad. It sucks. It's a piece of shit. And before you think, oh, but you only beat the first level, how can you judge it? If the first level sucks a dick, the game sucks a dick. I beat Final Fantasy XIII. I'm not going to fall for that it gets better later on trick again. But you know what's really scary? This isn't even the worst game in the series. Not by a long shot. I'm just thankful that I stopped being a Sonic fanboy while the games were still at least mediocre. I'd hate to be the poor kid who has to look back on this game 10 years from now and realise that they wasted their youth getting really good at a shit game. If I wanted to get really good at a shit game, I'd become a professional League of Legends player.